You already have within you the key to your success, to your fulfillment, and to everything that you want that is meant for you as your destiny. And of course you do, because you are the creator of your reality. And this is not just some motivational bumper sticker. This is the truth of who you are. And so in this video, I want to unpack and really come into a true recognition of this key and to demystify some of the misunderstandings and misperceptions as to this key and its true power. Because this is desire. And it's so simple, it's so innate that we often overlook it. And in fact, we've even been taught to mistrust it, to disbelieve in it, or even to vilify it, right? So much of our conditioning and education and programming in religious contexts or spiritual circles are making desire the root of all evil, or direct opposition to God, or selfish, when actually you wouldn't exist if it weren't for desire. For your true self, call it God, call it your higher self, call it the universe, had a creative impulse, and out of that you were born. And now you're here, and that thread within you that connects to that truth of who you are, that infinite possibility, is your desire. That true self, who you really are, speaks to you constantly through the feelings of desire. And I'm not talking about the mere pleasure impulses, these instant gratifications. The desire that I'm talking about is a deep, burning calling within you that comes from your soul. You will not find this on Instagram. You will not uncover this through comparing yourself to others in social media. You will not find your desire in a Pinterest board. These things can be helpful further along, but the essence is all about self-knowledge. When you know yourself, you come back into alignment with who you are and who you were created to be. And then your lifeline, your direct connection to that divine within you is actually your desire. It is your destiny unfolding through the signal of that emotional guidance. But you see, we have been taught through these religious contexts and spiritual circles that it is in direct conflict to God's will, or it's sort of selfish or something, when actually the fulfillment of your individuality is through your desire. And it is by reconnecting with your desire, with this inner impulse, inspiration, intuition, that allows everything to come to you effortlessly. And when you are fulfilled within your desire, the unfolding of your desires, think about how much you have to give. Think about how little you have to give when you're not fulfilled. This is such a kind of state of the world right now, is that everyone is trying to please others. So many are trying to help others from a place of lack, from a place of not being fulfilled. And what do we truly have to give when we are not within ourselves fulfilled? When we are not already connected to the truth of who we are and embracing and allowing our desire to emerge into our reality? This is not a conflict. This is not a paradox. This is the way. And when you can recognize and embrace and allow your desire, now everything becomes truly effortless. In a way, it becomes easy because you are swept up and carried by that desire, which is the path of least resistance to everything that you want. But we have been taught to kind of resist this and deny this and suppress this. We've been taught to make this wrong, and therefore we've been taught and conditioned to disconnect ourselves, to disassociate ourselves from desire. And this is the first pitfall, because we disconnect ourselves from this internal truth, this life force, our signal of who we truly are. And then we are lost and confused, looking for someone to tell us what to do, looking for something outside of us that will make us feel whole, looking for something to do or achieve that will make us fit in or feel worthy. This is the state of our online world, and the constant comparison between others, which no matter how much we get, no matter how far we go, no matter how much we achieve or accumulate or acquire, it's never enough, because it's not ever true to who you really are. So no matter how much you get of something that is not for you, it will never be enough to fulfill you. And yet, the simplest truth that comes from within is enough to satiate you for eternity, because it's coming from the truth of who you are. That's the importance of desire. I cannot overstate this. It is your lifeline. It is your direct connection to infinity. And therefore, to open up to this, again, to realign yourself and reconnect yourself with this inner impulse is of the utmost importance. And this is what I recommend to everyone that I work with. It's a very simple practice. Often it's best to do it first thing in the morning when you're just waking up and that subconscious programming is not quite online again. It's simply to just sit and ask yourself, what do I truly desire? This morning or today, what would I love to experience? What would I love to create? What would I love to do? What is it right now that I truly desire that would fulfill me in the deepest way possible? And this serves multiple purposes, because again, it reconnects you with that part of you that is infinitely creative, that created you to begin with. So it reestablishes that bond, that deep intuitive knowing. And it also bumps you up against your limiting beliefs, your sense of lack, your sense of unworthiness, the judgments, the criticism, the comparisons with others, the expectations, the obligations, all of these shoulds, ought tos, have tos, that then dismiss this desire, even the simplest desire, and makes you feel wrong for having it. And that's the subtle, insidious disconnection from that source of well-being that's flowing through you. And so when you ask yourself, what do I truly desire? And maybe you get something very simple like, I just want to sit on the porch and have a cup of coffee, or sit on the balcony and enjoy the view just for a few minutes. Something so simple yet so profound, because it's a whisper from your true self, a subtle feeling of your emotional guidance that's telling you that what you desire right now is possible and you are worthy of it. And if you follow this, not only will you have greater cultivated connection with who you really are, but you will have that fulfilled feeling, which will then allow you to move into your day being full, overflowing with joy and happiness, if you were to only act on your desire as you receive it and not resist it. And you see, that's the second part, is that we come up against our own boundaries, our own inner disagreements, our own internal conflicts, our own judgments, our own criticism, our own inner dialogue, which suggests that I have too much to do, I'm too busy, or I have so many responsibilities that I cannot prioritize this. I have to go and help my family. I have to go and help my coworkers. I have to do all these things that I don't actually want to do, but I should do, that I ought to do. And you see, this is where we come direct into contact with where we are sabotaging our own life, and where we are falling short of all that we can be and offer to the world, not out of obligation, not out of a sense of duty or responsibility, but out of the wholeness and the fulfillment of the overflowing of our cup of joy and love. But we must first fill our own cup. That is the point of desire. It is to come in contact with that purest, deepest, truest impulse of what you want to create, of what you want to experience, of who you want to be. And from there, you have everything to give. So this is not about something grand even, although it can be magnificent and grand, but it can be the simplest thing. It is certainly not about the Instagram trends or the next flashy thing or the big house or any of this, all of which is possible, all of which the thread of your desire may lead to. But until you know yourself and you've come into an attunement with that unique flavor of desire within you, then you will be constantly looking to what others are doing, how others are living, what others are prioritizing, what other people want and desire as a metric to compare yourself to measure yourself against, to see how you're doing, to see whether you're worthy, to see whether you're lovable, to see whether you can fit in or not. All of this is creating a gap and a divide and a buffer between you and who you truly are, between you and reality, and between you and the true connection with others. Because in so many ways, we're all trying to be the same, striving for the same, all trying to outdo each other in the same direction. And it's totally inauthentic. It is completely unoriginal. And that's why it is so unfulfilling. It is so empty. That is why there is so much suffering, despite all of the abundance, all of the possibilities, all of the goals that are being realized. And yet, they're not true. So when you come in contact with your true self, you uncover your true desire. Now you know what is truly fulfilling to you. And it starts, and really it ends, with this simple practice of first thing in the morning, and even multiple times a day, asking yourself right now, what do I truly desire? And you might just surprise yourself. You might just shock yourself that it includes everyone that you are already trying to please anyway. But from a natural, innate, effortless path of least resistance that is born from the most essential, fundamental truth of who you are. And therefore, it is that same essence within everyone. So of course, when you are fulfilled in your desire, everyone benefits. And that's the beauty of this. So what is it that you truly desire? And when you become like a child again and you reconnect with that inner impulse, that thread of desire that's coming from your innermost self, from life itself, now you have access to a wealth of possibilities. You have access to infinite abundance, creativity, inspiration. You have connection, unseen connections, all of which conspire in your favor to create and cultivate a life of deep and profound fulfillment, which everyone benefits from.